Welcome to today's edition of Dialogue with ADA, Pathway to Stop Diabetes. Thank you for everyone for joining us today. My name is Abby Bornemeyer, and I'm the Social Media and Digital Events Manager at the American Diabetes Association. And today I'm joined by a great guest, and we will be discussing the Pathway to Stop Diabetes program, which seeks researchers at the peak of their creativity to provide them with the funds and resources they need to perform diabetes research. This is going to be a conversational event, so those of you who are joining us live, feel free to drop your questions in the chat as we go along. And Dr. Gabe, I'm going to turn it over to you to introduce yourself.
Great, thanks, Abby. And so my name is Bob Gabe, and I am privileged to be the Chief Scientific and Medical Officer here at the American Diabetes Association. And I'm really looking forward to this conversation with you, Abby.
Well, thank you for being here, Dr. Gabe, and thanks for joining, everyone. So we're going to get started. We have a lot to cover, so I'm going to get started with the first question here. Could you explain a little bit what the Pathway to Stop Diabetes program is and when it was started?
Yeah, this is really a transformative research effort that the American Diabetes Association a few years ago. And it really was based on this idea that number one, we need big ideas, and we need creativity and innovation, and a certain belief that some of that is going to come from the next generation. And and there are wonderful examples of this in the world of diabetes. And if I can, I'll just tell a little story of Banting and Best. We're all familiar; they're discoverers of insulin, but who are Banting and Best? It was a medical student working on a summer research project with a young surgeon who was in the community. And so they sort of had no business doing this kind of work, but somebody bet on them to come up with an idea. And lo and behold, they discovered insulin and literally changed the world and saved hundreds of millions of lives as a result. So the pathway to stop diabetes is to try to, here we are just past the 100-year anniversary of that amazing discovery. We don't want to wait another 100 years. We want to find the brilliant minds that can come up with the innovative, out-of-the-box ideas to solve problems for people with diabetes and literally stop diabetes.
Thank you, Dr. Gabe. That was very helpful, and definitely the program is ultimately to stop diabetes, like mentioned in the title. So we need the most innovative researchers and everyone to continue helping us on this journey, and all the different bright minds to help us with this. But could you talk a little bit about what type of research is funded by this program?
Well, the interesting thing about this program that makes it unique from we fund lots of research. What's different about this is a few things. One, I mentioned around being innovative. We're really looking for high risk, high reward projects. And unlike other research grants where one funds an individual project, here we're as much doing that as we're betting on the person. We're identifying literally the best and brightest. And how do I know that they're the best and brightest? Every institution, and I'm talking about the greatest institutions, in the U.S., they can only nominate one person for this award. So only one per institution. So you imagine a place like the Joslin Diabetes Center, Mass General Hospital, University of California, San Francisco. I mean, you name your institution, they can only pick one person. So it gets the best and the brightest. They tell us what they want to do, but we let them have the freedom to explore the science wherever it takes them. So normally you say you're going to do a project, and you pretty much have to do that project, and at the end you have to say, I did that project. And that's how 99% of grants work. This one is different. They follow what they think is the right thing. And the other important ingredient is we pair them with one of the leading scientists in the world in that area. So we have a group of mentors. It's literally the who's who of diabetes over the last several decades. And they're paired with an individual with the right expertise. And through that relationship, they help to guide them on whatever direction they want to go. So it's not just a blank check, it's a blank check with some guidance, with support. And that has led to incredible work by these individuals. Really, really unbelievable. As an example, um, there have been 15 startup companies that have come out of ideas from the Pathway to Stop Diabetes Awards. Any one of them, total game changer. 46 patents, new patents for new treatments, for new innovations. Again, really unprecedented response from the number of grants that we've offered. So, Abby, in answer to your question, I'm sorry I drifted off. So,
No,
what
this
you
is
know,
great.
what are we funding? We're really funding great transformative ideas, and it could be in any aspect of diabetes and any type of diabetes, but it's got to move the needle.
That's amazing. And I love just all the freedom associated with the program. And there's no, you have to do this type of research or this and that. It's really the direction that the researcher kind of wants to take and contribute to moving that needle, which is amazing. And leads me to my next question. So we have definitely funded quite a few researchers over the years. And I'd like to kind of know and talk about what has the impact been to date?
You know, the impact, Abby, can be measured in a lot of different ways. One on these individuals, because we're investing in these individuals, we're really looking to create that next generation of diabetes research leaders that the world needs, because many folks are older like me and we won't be around forever, and we need that next generation to step in. So we've identified already 34 extraordinary individuals, and our goal ultimately is to get a cadre of 100 of these individuals. Not only do we invest in them, but they have the opportunity to interact with each other, and they form these lasting relationships and collaborations on science through this mechanism, because we do a lot of things to bring them together. And in fact, one of those events will be at our big scientific sessions that is coming up in June in New Orleans. We'll have a special breakfast and then series of presentations by the Pathway awardees, which I think will be really exciting. And in fact, one of the things we're doing uh, to make it more of interest to the wider audience is, instead of giving, sort of an hour-long lecture about all of the research that I've done, we're forcing a bunch of them to give quick, like 10-minute, 5 to 10 minute talks. Like, here's the problem I was trying to solve. Here's what I've done, and here's why it matters for people with diabetes. And just getting those snippets, because there's so many great stories, we couldn't pick, 3 or 4 speakers. We want to sort of give them all a chance. So, one way is to measure, success by, as I described, number of patents, number of startup companies, how these individuals have all become successful researchers, getting other research funding, and, continuing to grow their presence. But there are also all sorts of inspiring stories. One researcher wanted to understand the basic mechanisms of wound healing. And as you know, people with diabetes, unfortunately, are at risk for amputation, for wounds that don't heal. And she started at a very basic science level in the laboratory, understanding how do wounds heal, and then identifying some problems in people with diabetes. And now she's ready to test from that discovery a clinical trial on people to see, yeah, let's see if this works. And so that's really the goal, is to take it from the beginning to ultimately being able to do something that'll impact people with diabetes.
Amazing. Well, thank you for describing that a little bit. And we are definitely looking forward to hearing the stories of some of our researchers at scientific sessions. So that will be very exciting. But another question I have is, how does the ADA continue to engage with past award recipients?
Well, this has become a community, and that is one of the lovely things of this. Really, science these days is no longer one person doing a project and making discovery. That's exceedingly rare. It's really teams, and there are so many examples of past and present awardees that have met each other through our networking opportunities, through monthly webinars where people will talk about their research and then ask questions and engage, through the yearly activities at our scientific sessions that have led to new projects. Some of them are some of those startup companies where two or three of them meeting and saying, oh yeah, I got this idea. Oh yeah, but I got the engineering side of this. Oh, excellent. I've got the biology part. I've got and then saying, hey, I think we have a solution here. Let's get funding and let's make it happen. So very exciting.
Very exciting. Thank you. And could you just tell us a little bit too about what grants are available today and who is eligible to apply for those grants and what is the criteria for that?
Yeah, well, so we're really excited to be offering these grants. There was a little bit of a hiatus, and the organization made a commitment to this really important program for all of the reasons that I just talked about. I mean, this has been amongst the most impactful research efforts that ADA has had in its history, and so we're really excited to fund new grants. And of course, we're supporting a number of the continuing grants. Um, the To apply, really, it has to come from the individual's institution. They have to be chosen as the one that institution will put forward. So, Johns Hopkins only gets one. University of Chicago, one. Yale, one. I mean, you think of all these incredible places. So what's happening right now at a lot of the leading research institutions is they're looking internally for who has this, high impact, high reward, and potentially high risk opportunity. Um, they'll identify who is the best of their people, and then apply.
Wonderful. So once the institution has nominated that one person that they would like to apply, what does that application process though look like?
Well, you can find it all on our website, and there's all the details. But essentially, they describe their idea, um, why they can make that idea happen. Because lots of people have ideas, but you got to be able to make it happen. So, do they have the skills? Do they have the resources and organizational support to make this happen? And ultimately, how will it make a difference in the lives of people with diabetes? And one of the things that we're doing with this relaunch of Pathway is being more intentional about you know a a project that's studying a molecule is wonderful, but we need them to tell us why that can really make a difference in people's lives, and not in 25 years. No, you've got to be able to make a compelling case of how this can really impact people, and so that's going to be a really important criteria.
Thank you for that. I definitely like how you said be intentional with the application process, because words are one thing, but we want to know, how are you going to make this happen? And
Yeah, exactly right. You need a plan, and you need these are going to be more junior people, but they have to have already shown significant promise. And I can tell you that all 34 of these people turned out to be amazing, and so their institutions knew that they were gems, and through the nurturing process and mentoring that happened in the Pathway program, they just blossomed. So that's who we're looking for.
definitely, and that is very exciting for us to come across these new researchers and everything, and see where we go moving forward. Looking forward to that. So we talked a little bit, about the application process and what we're looking for, but could you just describe, if anyone would like to donate to the fund, how do people go about doing so, or just supporting it altogether?
Yeah, no, we appreciate that. As you might imagine, this kind of effort does not happen in isolation, and we've been really fortunate through the history of this program uh, to have people and corporations support this effort, and that's what's allowed us to fund the 34 individuals that we have had, and we hope to continue to do this with the support of people here in the audience. And if you go to the American Diabetes Association website, you can right there donate. You can indicate where you'd like your monies to go. If you have any trouble, you can reach out to me. I'll steer you in the right direction. But we really appreciate all of the people that have supported. And, here we are 100 years after Banting and Best, and people are still struggling with diabetes, and people are still developing diabetes at an alarming rate. And so, really, with your support, we can stop diabetes.
Yes, we can. We have a long way to go, but we definitely can do it with everyone's support and help. And there's so many different ways to support this program other than being a researcher itself. You can, in many ways. So thank you for that. And also, thank you, Dr. Gabe, for taking the time to educate us on this program, the Pathway to Stop Diabetes program, and hopefully this conversation inspires our next generation of researchers. And thank you also to everyone who is tuned in today. But if you'd like to learn more information on the application process that we talked about, or just how to help the program and support it in general, please visit pathway or diabetes.org/pathway, and you'll find more information on the call for nominations, awards, and more. So thank you again for joining us, and until next time, goodbye.
Thanks, everyone.